Good boy. Hey super foodies, and welcome back to Cooking with Angeli. Today we're making my favorite cheesy masala fries. I'm super excited to make this, so let's just get started. We're going to start by prepping the potatoes for the chips. I've got a couple here that I've already done. I've used about 6 to 7 large Maris Piper potatoes. I prefer to use Maris Piper potatoes because they go crispy on the outside and really fluffy on the inside. But I've got one here which we're going to do together. So there we go. So it's peeled. I'm just going to wash it. I've washed and dried it. Now we're just going to chop it up into fries. You can choose to make chips or you can choose to make fries, and I'm actually going to make fries. Trying to get them as even as possible. There we go. And we're just going to pop them into the water. So this is salted water, and these chips have been sitting here for about 30 minutes. It draws out the moisture and it makes them extra crispy. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for another couple of minutes. Then I'm going to drain all the water, dry them with a tea towel, and put them into my tray. Let's get rid of this. Just pop it aside. Next, I'm going to cut one small red onion up. Onions chopped. Let's get rid of the waste, and I'll pop these in a bowl. I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees C, and we're going to get the potatoes ready to go on the tray and into the oven. I'm going to go and drain them and bring them back in the colander. And now we're just going to dry them off as we put them into the tray. Okay, I think I'll do these in 2 batches because this is quite full already. I'll leave that aside. So we'll dry them off. What I quite like to do is prep the chips like this, cover them in some olive oil and salt or some rapeseed oil, and put them into freezer bags and then just freeze them so they're ready to cook like this. And a lot of the time I'll pre-season them with some black pepper or chili flakes or some garlic powder, if I feel like sort of quick masala chips without the onions and the garnishings. The chips are dry, now we're going to season them. I'm going to add some rapeseed oil. I would say about 2 tablespoons, but I'm just going to drizzle it today. We don't want too much because we've got the grease-proof paper underneath, but you need a little bit so that the seasoning sticks to the chips. So in the salt water that the chips were in, I had about half a teaspoon in there, and I've got another half a teaspoon here. If you like, you can cook the chips and then season with salt. It's completely up to you. I've reduced my quantity of chips, so I'm actually going to put half of this in. I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of this in. I've got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, so I'm going to put about half a teaspoon in on top. I think doing it by hand is a bit better. You get an even coating. Next, I'm going to add my favorite kolhapuri masala. I've got 2 teaspoons here, so I'm going to put half of it. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in. I've got 2 teaspoons of chili flakes here, so I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of chili flakes. If you'd like, and if you prefer to, you could use cut up green chili if you'd prefer that. I've got my red onion, so I'm going to use about half of this. Can add more or less. What I'm going to do is mix this by hand, but not too much because it will come off on my hand like this. It's just a little bit, spread it around. I've preheated my oven already before I started to 180 degrees, so I'm going to cook this at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. So our timer's just gone up and I've taken out the chips, and they're looking pretty good. They're pretty much cooked and they're starting to crispen up on the outside. So what I'm going to do is add the rest of the ingredients. I'm actually going to add a couple more red onions because I don't think there's enough. And now I'm also going to add some cheese. So I've got in here some grated cheddar. I've used medium cheddar, but you guys can use whatever kind of cheddar cheese you'd like, or even red Leicester, anything that you'd like to use. You want to coat it as evenly as possible. So we're going to add some mozzarella. Just sprinkle it again evenly on top. Om's laughing and making noise because he obviously wants some cheese, which I'm going to go and give him in a moment. Okay, I'm going to finish off with some black pepper. I've got some frozen coriander here, which I'm going to sprinkle on top. You guys can use fresh coriander if you like. This is all I've got, but I mean, it's going to heat up in the oven anyway. There we go. And I'm going to put this back into the oven. I'm going to put it in for about 5 to 10 minutes and see how it's getting on, and then we'll check it after. One thing I've forgotten to do is to stir or like kind of toss them around a little bit, but I'm hoping it'll be fine. So let's see. But that's one extra thing I would do. When you take them out, before you add anything else onto them, just give them a bit of a toss and a stir, and then add all the other ingredients and then put it back in. Let's go give Orm that cheese. Orm, I'm gonna give you a little bit. So one of my favorite things to eat are crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside chips. I had to think about that for a minute. So, crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside chips. And when I usually have masala chips anywhere, they're usually covered in sauce and they go really soft and soggy. And then they're really tasty, don't get me wrong, but they're just not my thing. I really like crispy chips. So this is my way of trying to find a solution to retaining the kind of masala taste whilst keeping the texture for the chips and the crispiness of the chips. So I hope you guys enjoy this because it'll be something a little bit different, but it goes so well with kebabs, chicken, with paneer. Oh my God, with tandoori paneer, it's so good. But yeah, you guys have got to give this a go. So our timer's just gone off. Shh. Our timer's just gone off and the chips are ready. Let's plate up because these look amazing. They've gone all crispy, even the cheese. Shh. The cheese has gone all crispy. Yeah, I know you're dying to eat it, like itching to eat it. Cheese, chips, he can see everything from here. This looks really good. It smells so good too. Oops. Making a mess as always. Okay, this is not. Yeah, making a mess on. He's telling me off. And there we have it. My masala chips are ready. Okay, I'm gonna pop this to one side and we're gonna give them a taste. It's so good. They are so good. So if you guys enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share with your family and friends so they can enjoy this too. I'm off to eat these, but leave me a comment, and also I'll leave links to some recipes that go amazing with this in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Bye guys. And then you put them into the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes if it really needs it. Let's see how we go. Oh, shh. So I preheated preheated the oven to 200 degrees. I preheated the oven to I preheated I give up. I'll write it down below. I'll write it here for you. I give up.